Okay, as the title suggests, today I will be reviewing my Kahr MK40. This is an Elite 03 model. I feel this is a very underrated gun. I don't think it gets the attention it deserves. It's clearly, in my opinion, one of the better carry guns on the market if you're looking for something in a subcompact. If you don't mind a little weight, which a good holster can take care of, this is a great gun. We'll start the video here by letting everyone know that this gun has been safety checked multiple times. Magazine's empty, nothing's in the chamber. This gun, right now, it'd be impossible for this gun to fire. There's no bullets anywhere near it. So before anyone says anything about, oh, you put your finger in front of the barrel or anything like that, it's kind of hard to not do in this kind of scenario where you're trying to reach around a camera. So I just want to make sure everyone knows this gun is completely safe. Then we will move on to the review. The first thing I will cover about this gun in the review is the build quality. This gun is amazingly well built. If you're not familiar with Kahrs, they use state-of-the-art CNC machinery to build their guns. Then it shows. I mean, they're well built. Every car I see tends to be just like every other car I see. There's very little variance in their build quality. They're all done very nicely. The finishes are very nice. This is an Elite 03 model, so it is bead blasted. It has a little smoother finish to it than the standard gun has. Been a little more softened on the edges than the standard, but even the standard guns are really well made. They just have more of a brushed look. Like I said, this is, if you can see there, an Elite 03 model. I don't know if this will adjust that close, but if you can, it is. So build quality, gun is top notch. Interior, exterior, internals are great. Exterior is pretty much as close to perfection as you're going to get on a production line gun. This one's pretty much stock, except that I did add the wood grips that come from Kahr. So as far as build goes, excellent little gun. Very solid, very well made, very well finished, very much worth every penny you would pay for it. I've seen custom guns that aren't any better than this. Now we'll discuss handling. How the gun feels in your hands, how it really feels when you hold it, whether it's weighted properly, whether it feels good, whether you can get a good grip on it. In my personal experience with this gun, it handles really well. It's not very large, it's pretty small. As you can see, I have smaller hands, and this gun is not big in them. A gun that everyone kind of knows the size of is like a PPK. Not a whole lot of difference in the size of these two guns. This is a small 380, this is a 40 Smith & Wesson. So that gives you an idea of the size of the gun. Me, it fits me pretty well. I can get 2 fingers on the grip frame, and that's about it. It does come with an extended mag that allows me to have 3. I don't like the mag, it makes it harder to conceal, and it doesn't really look very good in my opinion. It's just a big black square that sticks out the bottom. But other than that, the gun fits me really well. The trigger is a really good trigger. If you've ever felt a Kahr trigger, it's a very long, slow pull with a really predictable release. It's very much like a really light revolver trigger. You'll really like it if you like revolvers. If you're coming from only a single action semi-automatic background, then you might have a little trouble adjusting to the trigger. I like the trigger. This one has, like I said, the dot the eye sights. I like those. Could have had night sights on it. Chose to go with those. I actually prefer them. I have gotten a little more into night sights lately. May have done this differently if I'd have bought it now than then, but still like the sights that are on it. So overall, great built gun, great feeling gun. Really feels solid in your hand. Doesn't feel like anything cheaply made or that rattles. I mean, it's a solid gun. I mean, it's solid. I can't tell you. It feels like it's just carved out of a solid block of stainless steel. It just feels like one solid piece. You'll really like this if you want a solid feeling gun. Can't say solid enough, can I? Okay, now we will discuss accuracy and reliability. Took this gun to the range, shot, no, I don't know, 100 to 150 rounds of 180 grain full metal jacket blazer brass, just target ammo. Never had a single failure to feed, never had a single failure to fire. Fired every round perfectly, and reliability was great, and accuracy wasn't bad either for a small gun. Actually, the gun's probably more accurate than I am. I probably need to make a disclaimer that before I show you the targets, that doesn't indicate the best the gun is capable of, it just indicates what I'm capable of with the gun. The gun can probably do far better than I can. Okay, target 1 is a target I fired the first 5 rounds I ever fired out of this firearm into. They were fired from about 50 feet. These rounds were fired in a kind of a slow, deliberate manner. I took my time. I aimed each shot. Got a pretty good grouping at 50 feet. Not 50 yards, mind you, 50 feet. That's about 15 1/3 yards. Little gun, I didn't want to go out to full 30 yards. I didn't want to look foolish not even hitting the target the first time I shot it. But once I shot, was pretty comfortable with it. Felt that I could get pretty good accuracy on it. So I think my concerns were unjustified. I didn't do a whole lot of long range shooting with this because I am treating it primarily as a close-up self-defense gun. I'm not going to be shooting at anyone much further than 20 or 30 feet from me, probably, much less 50. Target number 2 is a target also set at 50 feet. The groups that are circled are the first more slow-paced rounds. The non-circled ones are ones that I've done quicker, point and shoot, just pull a gun out of the holster, fire. Okay, image 3 is a target placed at 35 feet. This is I did a pull from the holster and shoot scenario, just left my gun in my holster on my hip, pulled and shot. This was done very quickly, just general aim taken, no getting a good sight picture, no lining up, no deep breaths, just pulling and shooting. This was 2 groups of 5 rounds. As you can see, there are only 8 holes, so either 2 bullets went through the exact same hole, which I'd like to think happened, or the more likely scenario that I actually missed twice. Still, that's not bad for first time with a gun pulling and shooting at that range. That's shooter error. I jerked a lot, I'm sure, when I did that. So, even though I missed twice, you figure even if I missed once per 5-round group, that's okay if that's 4 hits. And even if I missed 2 on one of the 5-round groups, any 3 of these hits would have probably taken a bad guy down, or at least incapacitated him enough that he wasn't going to be much threat any longer. Now I'd like to discuss any flaws I feel the gun has. I tried to find things wrong with this gun. I never like to think any gun's perfect. I like to find what's wrong with it, because I always feel sometimes it's better to tell people what's wrong with a gun before they buy it, better than to tell them what's right with it. Couldn't really come up with too much on this gun. One flaw might be the size. If you got big hands, this gun is small. It might be a little bit of a trouble for you. Also, the mag could fit a little more flush at the bottom. I'm not super thrilled about how that fits for a gun in this price range. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to fit, but I'm not real thrilled with that. And they can make you one with a better finger extension. The one Kahr ships is just ugly. I'm not even going to show it to you. It's just horribly, horribly ugly. I will add the gun is small, but the construction does make it a bit heavy. If you're not wanting a gun that's got any weight to it, you're not going to like this gun, because it is not a lightweight gun. It's pretty heavy. I would say even at this size, loaded, it weighs in at nearly 1.5 pounds. That's not going to compete with your Kel-Tecs, or even the PM40, which I also have of this gun, which is much lighter. So it's not for someone who wants the lightest gun they can get. It's someone who wants probably the most durable gun they can get in this size, that's really well made and really accurate, and still really dependable. And this is what you would buy this gun for. Okay, just now to give you my final impression on this gun here. This gun's a must-have for anyone that likes a small carry gun and likes the .40 Smith & Wesson caliber. If you don't mind a little weight and you're okay with getting a good holster to overcome that weight, I mean, this gun is really, really top of the line. I mean, just as far as production guns go, you're not going to find a better subcompact level gun in .40 caliber that's all steel. I just would dare anyone to even try to find one that's better. It's just a really, really, really good gun. And if you think it's something you might like, I would really recommend you try it out, because you'd be doing yourself an injustice if you didn't. And that's my impression of the Kahr MK40. I hope you get one. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoy mine.